Morning, I am Madhurima Datta, Zoology and Biology Educational Content Creator. Now's content for B.Sc Zoology Honours, M.SC Zoology Honours, CUT PG exam, IIT JAM exam, GATE exam and CSI NET Life Sciences exam. Paper Comparative Anatomy, Unit 1, Endoskeleton of Scoliodon, and topic is Skull of the Scoliodon. Introduction. The endoskeleton of dogfish or Scoliodon is entirely made up of cartilage. There being no true bones apart from the basal plates of the placoid scales, it shows several important advances over the sea lamprey. The axial skeleton includes skull and the vertebral column, while the appendicular skeleton comprises pectoral and pelvic girdle and skeleton of fins. Next, skull. Skull of the chondrocranium, called the chondrocranium because cartilaginous condition is retained in the adult. So, skull of chondrocranium of dogfish consists of cranium and capsule for sense organs and visceral skeleton which provides the jaws and supports for tongue and gill mechanism. First part is the cranium and sense capsules. Cranium or brain box encloses and protects the brain. It is composed of a single piece of cartilage to which the olfactory and auditory sense capsules are intimately fused. It is roughly divisible into four regions: occipital, auditory, orbital and ethmoidal. Occipital region. It forms the posterior part having a very large median hole, the foramen magnum through which brain is continued into spinal cord. On either lateral side of foramen magnum is a small rounded occipital condyle for articulation with first vertebra. Each condyle is a large exist foramen for X or vagus nerve. Dorsally, the occipital region shows a slight mid-longitudinal ridge or occipital crest. Next, auditory region. It lies in front of occipital region and consists of two lateral octic or auditory capsules, enclosing ears fused with the middle part of cranium. Dorsal side of cranium shows a median oval depression. The parietal fossa containing two pairs of apparatus, anterior smaller opening is the openings of endolymphatic ducts and posterior larger opening is perilymphatic foramina. Three ridges on each auditory capsule indicate the internal position of three semicircular canals of membranous labyrinth. Below the lateral postobiotical groove is the articular surface of the homandibula of second or hyoid arc. Next, orbital region. It is the middle part lying in the front of the auditory region. On the each lateral side carries a large hollow called orbit, which containing the eye during life. Each orbit is bordered dorsally by a supraorbital ridge, ventrally by infraorbital or suborbital ridge, and anteriorly by a short, slender preorbital process, and posteriorly by a longer and stouter prostobial process. Within the orbit, the canal wall is pierced by a number of foramina for nerves. Next, ethmoidal region. It includes the anterior part of cranium, two nasal or olfactory capsules and rostrum. The lateral olfactory capsules are thin-walled, open ventrally and each lodging an olfactory sac. Next, the cavities are separated from each other by a common thin median vertical plate, the mesenthymioid or internal septum. Posteroventral aspect of each capsule bears a short by a stout ethmopalatine ridge. The cranial roof presents a large depression, the anterior frontal covered by a connective tissue membrane. In front of the frontal project three rod-like rostral cartilages, one ventromedian and two dorsolateral. The three meet anteriorly and form the skeleton of snout or rostrum. Next, visceral skeleton. It forms the jaw and the skeleton of pharynx and includes a series of 7 pairs of U-shaped visceral arches. that encircles the buccal cavity and pharynx. First or mandibular arc is the first visceral or mandibular arc on either side is made up of the two segments. The dorsal segment called the palato-pterygoquadrate forms the upper jaw which is attached to the cranium by a ligament. The lower segment called macal cartilage forms the lower jaw. The two jaw bears teeth and are joined by a hinge joint at the angle of the mouth. Next, second part or hyoid arc. Second visceral or hyoid arc consists of three segments. Ventral median and single basihial is common to both sides. It supports buccal floor and tongue. The lateral ceratohyal also lies in buccal floor behind the macal cartilage of the first arc. The dorsal segment or high mandibula is short but stout and oblique cartilage. Its lower end connects to posterior ends of both jaws, while its upper end articulates with cranium. Thus, jaws are not connected directly to cranium in dogfish. Such an arrangement or suspensorium in which high mandibula serves to suspended jaws from cranium is called hyostylic. Next, branchial arches. Behind the hyoid arc, the remaining 5 visceral arches are known as branchial arches, as they support the walls of pharynx and gills are served in their respiratory movements. Typically, each branchial arc consists on either side of the rod-like segments connected by joints. These are a dorsal pharyngobranchial, lateral epibranchial and ceratobranchial and a ventral hypobranchial. All the branchial arches are connected to a common midventral dagger-shaped cartilage, representing the fused acibranchial segments of all arches. Only the epibranchial and ceratobranchials bear gills rays which support gills. Besides, there are 4 pairs of extrabranchial cartilages lying at the right angles to the first 4 pairs of branchial arches. Now the topic has ended. For all video, please subscribe my YouTube channel Biogenesis by Madhurima and follow my Facebook account Madhurima Datta.